Welcome back. It's the show of all shows. It is the San Diego Spotlight, where we shine a light on business leaders around San Diego County, and we inform and empower you as a citizen of our lovely community. I'm your host, Elizabeth Story, bringing you the inside story. We are back with Mr. Tim Epton, Vice President and Business Banking Manager at U.S. Bank. We are talking all about their wonderful options for small businesses or big businesses. It doesn't matter what size you are. We don't discriminate. You can find them online at usbank.com. You can find a lot of resources for your business at usbankconnect.com. They're also on Twitter, Facebook, and all sorts of social media at US Bank Connect. So something very interesting about US Bank that I learned when I was preparing for this is that you remain focused on lending to small business owners throughout the downturn. US Bank continued to lend, and I have to imagine that there's businesses that still exist today because of that. What did you do differently?
Well, we just remain focused, Elizabeth. We're really proud of our bank and what we do, and we realize we're not going to just shut down and say, sorry, we're not lending anymore. The country needed us. Business owners needed us, and so we continued to lend. Yes, we're conservative, and we're still conservative, but I think that was a real important thing for the bank and for the country for us to be able to continue doing that.
And being conservative not only kept you guys out of trouble, but I'm sure it kept a lot of clients out of trouble as well.
Yep, exactly.
So it's important to remember that, the bank has some social responsibility and what they do and who they give money to, and they don't just give it away to anybody because that causes problems and trouble.
Exactly.
So, and then that's probably part of the reason, you have consistently ranked among the top SBA lenders in the nation. What does that mean?
We're really proud of that. We are an SBA preferred lender, which means we are very familiar with all the underwriting guidelines of the SBA. We get faster processing time from the SBA because of that. And we're the number one lender in all of San Diego for SBA the last several years. And it's a great recognition. In fact, our national SBA headquarters for U.S. Bank is right here in San Diego.
All right! Yeah. Why not? It's paradise.
Yep.
Now, you also in recent years started offering smaller loan amounts. What do those range from?
Oh, we can go down, in my particular department, we can go down to $100,000. We have some other easier, simpler application-only loans down to even $50,000. So the nice thing about SBA, and I love working with SBA, is they're able, through SBA, we're able to do a little more. We can do higher loan-to-value ratios, not as much of a down payment if you're looking to expand or acquire a business. Because we have the government backing on those, we're able to take a little bit more risks in that. Typically, SBA is not quite as stringent on the cash flow and things like that, so it's a little bit easier to qualify for. And the nice thing is we have the government backing, so we love SBA. It's our favorite partner.
That's great. And for everyone, I'm sure that a lot of our entrepreneurs already know, but if you don't, SBA stands for Small Business Administration. And so you can obviously find information about that online by Googling Small Business Administration. But U.S. Bank can underwrite in-house for an SBA loan, which again, that shortens the time frame. And again, like you said, it helps you offer some different products to your clients. So what are some of the things that people need to know when they're considering coming and getting one of these loans?
Well, regardless whether it's SBA or a conventional loan or business equipment financing, really some of the key things that we look for in any large bank or lending institution looks for is good credit. So please protect that as well as you can. Make your payments on time, keep that credit score up. We also look at collateral, and that could be real property, homes, commercial property, things like that. Could be equipment. We can also use things like inventory, materials, things like that.
Okay.
Collateral is important. And I guess the other most important one would be cash flow. So we, like you said earlier, we want to make loans to people that can repay the loans. That if we are overextending someone or a business, that's not good for them, and it's not good for us, it's not good for the economy. So
right.
Cash flow is real important.
Absolutely. As well. So you mentioned debt ratios, about what do those look like usually?
Typically, we want to see around, we look at the net income and then add up all of the monthly expenses. And usually, we like to see at least 125% or more of income available to pay the bills.
Okay.
So,
That's pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah. And so what are some of the main differences, for example, between like an SBA loan and a business equipment loan, and how do you help people decide which one's right for them?
Sure. It depends on what they, first of all, want to use the money for. If they're buying some equipment, we would ask a few questions. How much do you want to have your monthly payment be? How long are you looking to keep it? Things like that. So with the business equipment finance, we can actually do it two ways. One is through a lease.
Oh, okay. A leaseback
Right,
option.
uh-huh,
Yeah.
And
Can you explain what that is?
Sure. During the first, let's say, 3 or 4 years of the lease, you're making typically lower payments on that because the full loan amount's not being amortized there. And then when the lease is finished, just like with a new car, you would have the option to buy the equipment, and then all of the payments that you've made so far would be applied, towards that.
So basically what that is, and I want to kind of go over this, I have some background in this,
Yeah.
so I understand it very well. It was a very fun insider's point of view on this industry. Basically what the bank does is they go and purchase the equipment on your behalf. Then you sign a lease, you make lease payments to the bank, and then again at the end of that 5-year term or whatever term it is, you exercise the option to purchase the equipment, and then you become the owner, and some of the payments that you made have gone towards that. And that could be for, we're usually talking very large pieces of equipment. Like what are some businesses that like to do equipment finance?
Oh, manufacturing companies are great because of the machines, and the machine tools, equipment that they have. Those wear out over, hundreds of thousands of repetitions every day on
Right.
those wear out after a few years. Other companies that are good users of equipment finance are vehicles. So
Oh, yeah.
trucks, things like that, company cars, the large list,
Yeah.
huge list. In any equipment, and what's kind of neat is equipment can also include computers.
Oh, can it? Because I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Computers, printers, things like
Yes,
that?
phone
Okay.
systems, and we can include the training costs, the setup costs. All of that can be financed as part of the equipment finance.
Oh, how fantastic. So, I mean, you can
Yeah.
really get your business up and running just on even, an equipment loan
Right.
for some folks. So that's a very exciting option. What kind of useful life expectancy are you usually typically looking for on an equipment loan?
Oh, probably at least 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years. Okay,
Right.
so that's short, that'll help you a lot. Now, when do you know it's time to go from just an equipment loan over to an SBA type of loan?
Sure. Well, it depends on, again, the need.
Mm-hmm.
If a company is looking to expand, or maybe it's a pizza store that has pizza restaurant that has 3 locations now. They want to expand it and buy another location. That would be a perfect opportunity for SBA.
Okay.
Expansion to an existing building. I was just at a grand opening for a Montessori school yesterday in Vista.
Oh, fun.
And that we helped finance, and it was awesome to see the kids there and just to look around and say, we had a part in this, and it felt really good. So expansion of existing business, if you want to make your business bigger, SBA is a great route to go on that as well.
And you also mentioned when you want to buy the real estate. Are you seeing a lot of business owners investing and owning the real estate?
Sure, and what's amazing is a lot of the business owners lease their properties, where their business is. They
Mhm.
lease that from another owner, and don't even realize that for the same amount, or maybe even less that they're paying in rent to the landlord, they could own the building.
Right.
And we have that conversation with someone locally at least once a day.
And that's an important conversation because you have, instead of paying the lease, you're owning the building. It's gaining equity. You have increased deductions. You can
Mhm.
depreciate it. And I read an article, and I'm hoping that I remember the company correct, but I believe it was McDonald's. There was an article about how they own the majority of their real estate, and they don't really look at themselves as just a burger company. They look at themselves as a real estate
Exactly,
mogul.
that's true.
It's incredible.
Mhm,
I mean, when you
mhm.
look at it from that perspective, especially as a business owner, Perhaps you don't want to be in your business forever. Perhaps you're in a business that is going to be technology based and the technology is going to change, or maybe eventually you'll be phased out. You know, what if Blockbuster owned all their buildings? They could have leased them out to somebody, right? When Netflix took all their business.
It's hilarious.
So those are some really important things to think about and to consider when you are owning a business and starting a business and looking at being profitable. And again, these guys can help you with that. They'll send a business banking manager out to your place of business, sit down with you, strategize, talk about some of the offerings they have. Again, this is Tim Epton from US Bank. You can find US Bank online at usbank.com, or some of their small business resources at usbankconnect.com, as well as on social media.